Hi, how's it going? Welcome to Code with Z. In today's video, we have to add these two numbers together without using the operators plus and minus. Why? Well, because that's what LeetCode 371, sum of two integers, is asking us to do. As you can see, it says, given two integers a and b, so a and b, return the sum of the two integers without using the operators plus and minus. Alright, let's see how we can solve this. So usually the approach with these kind of problems are going to be that we're going to use binary operations, because using them we can mimic, for example, how we can do addition. And now I'm going to break down the structure and then we're going to visualize everything together. So the very first thing that we need to do is to have an XOR operation between these two. Why? Well, because if we actually do XOR, it's like actually doing the addition without taking the carry into consideration. We're going to apply this to the bits of these numbers. So we're going to have the binary version of these two numbers and we're going to apply it to that, right? And when we have the binary representation, we only have zeros and ones, right? So there's only two possibilities. We either have 0 or we have 1. And once we apply this XOR operation to the two numbers, if the bits are different, meaning one is 1 and the other one is 0, XOR returns 1. And the next one is that if the bits are the same, meaning both are 1 or for example both are 0, XOR returns 0. And this basically, this simple thing, this simple operation is going to help us to have the sum that we basically need without taking the carry into consideration. To actually calculate the carry, we need to add one more simple thing. And that's going to be that we're going to find the positions where both numbers have ones in the same place. Again, I'm just explaining the structure. If something is foggy, don't worry. You're going to see how things work with your own eyes in the visualization. When we have the binary representations of these two numbers, we're going to find the positions where both numbers have ones in the same place. And to do that, we're going to use the AND operation between A and B to identify these positions where they're both ones. And then after we've found that, we're going to have our last operation, and that's going to be a shift to the left to basically move the carry to the next bit for the next addition step. Now you might be like, what does this mean? Again, don't worry, we're going to have a visualization and you're going to see how things work. And at the end, each time we're going to be like, A is equal to sum without the carry and B is going to be equal to the carry. So this is going to be calculating the sum and this is going to be calculating the carry. And we're going to loop through this logic that we have here as long as B is not equal to 0. So let's start the visualization. The binary representation for 5 is going to be this, and for 3 is going to be this. And then we're going to start looping, and we're going to keep on looping as long as B is not equal to 0. And as you can see, B is not equal to 0. This is the binary representation for 3. Alright, let's go through this logic that we have here. We're going to say we need to find the sum. So this is going to give us the sum, and we're going to say we need a variable called sum, and now let's calculate it using the XOR operation. Let's do this. We're going to be like, okay, we're going to apply XOR to each two of these positions. So if they are the same, we're going to return 0. If they are the same, we're going to return 0. If they're different, we're going to return 1. So as you can see, these two are the same, so we're going to add 0 here. And then we're going to move on to the next one. These two are not the same, so we're going to add 1 over here. And then we're going to keep on moving forward. These two are not the same, so we're going to add 1. And these two are the same, so we're going to add 0, like so. Now we have our sum. Okay, so this is the sum without the carry. Now let's calculate the carry. To calculate the carry, we have to find the positions where both numbers have ones in the same place. Well, as you can see, this is the only position between these two numbers where they both have ones. So when we use the AND operator between A and B, we're going to get this. Why? Because this is the only position that both of these two numbers have 1. As you can see, the first position and the first position. That's why this one is 1 and the others are 0. Now that we have this, we're going to simply shift to the left like so. This is what we had and now this is what we have. So we just made a simple shift to the left. And now we're going to say A is equal to the sum that we have here and B is equal to the carry that we have here, like so. So now we've updated A and B, and we're going to keep on looping because B is not equal to 0. So let's keep on looping. We're going to apply the same logic again, meaning the XOR between A and B. And once we do that, we're going to get this. Why? Well, because if we check, these two are the same, so we're going to get 0. These two are the same, so we're going to get 0. These two are not the same, so we're going to get 1. And these two are the same, so we're going to get 0. And then we have to calculate our carry. We need to find the positions where the numbers have ones in the same place. And the only position is this position that we have here. So the second position, so we're going to have this, and then we're going to do our shift to the left like so, and then we update A and B accordingly. So A is going to be equal to sum and B is going to be equal to carry, like so. And then we're going to keep on looping because B is still not equal to 0. again, we're going to apply XOR between these two. And once we do that, we're going to get 0, 0, 0, 0. Why? Well, because we said if they are the same, we're going to return 0, and these two numbers are identical, so that's going to give us 0. And then our carry is going to be this over here, because this is the only position that these two numbers have ones at the same place, and then we're going to simply shift to the left like so, and then we're going to update A and B accordingly. So A is going to be equal to sum and B is going to be equal to carry, just like we had it in the previous rounds, like so. And then we're going to keep on looping because B is still not equal to 0. This round we're going to apply XOR again, and that's going to give us this number that we have here. Why? Well, because these three positions have 0 and these three positions have 0. And when we apply XOR to them, because they are the same, we're going to return 0. So we have 3 zeros. And here they have a difference. One of them is 1 and the other is 0. So we're going to have 1. And that's going to be our sum. For our carry, we're going to again find the positions where both numbers have 1s. And as you can see, that does not exist. So we're going to just have 0, 0, 0, 0 when we do the AND operation, because we don't have any position where both numbers have 1 in the same place. Then we're going to do the shift to the left. It's not visible because it's just basically zeros moving to the left. And then at the end, we're going to say A is equal to sum and B is equal to carry. So A is going to be equal to sum and B is going to be equal to carry. Now we want to keep on looping, but B is equal to 0. So we're just going to exit and we're going to return our A. And if we check, this is the binary representation for 8. So this is correct because we were adding 5 and 3 together, and we're going to return A at the end. Now let's code this in the simplest way possible. Alrighty, let's code this together. So just like we saw in the slides, we're going to need our loop. We're going to say keep on looping as long as B is not equal to 0. And then we're going to have our two variables. The first one is going to be sum, and this is going to be equal to the XOR operation between A and B. A XOR B. This is how we do the XOR operation in JavaScript. And then we have to define our carry. So carry is going to be equal to A and B. So basically the AND operation between A and B. And we want to shift it to the left by 1. And then at the end, we're going to say A is equal to sum and B is equal to carry. And at the end, after our loop, we're going to return A, just like we saw in the slides. Now let's run this and see if we can actually get accepted. Let's see. Awesome, we got accepted. Now let's submit this and see if we can actually pass all of the test cases. Let's see, and we got accepted. That's awesome. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and keep on coding.